Hi all, thanks for joining me in one of my favorite places, which is the Calgary Central Library. I'm here to get some inspiration for redecorating my living room and also sorting out my home library, which has blossomed into about 1,200 books. Fortunately, books are one of the few affordable luxuries we have these days, so I've been able to collect quite a few from thrift stores, little free libraries, and charity sales. I've been leaning into books like City Farmhouse Style, Mindful Home, Demure and Mindful. I'm instantly dating this video. But books make a home, they certainly do, especially if, like I said, I have like 1,200 of them. I like a life in pattern, just appealing patterns. I don't know if I want to do that much pattern. Historical Interiors of Alberta. I have an Alberta interior, I guess just by the very nature of having an apartment in Alberta. I'll take you back to my place to see what the state of the living room is and how we can transition it from summer and kind of a mess to the home library of my dreams.
Existing style? I'd say an eclectic mix of IKEA furniture we bought and IKEA furniture other people have given us. This room specifically contains about 1,000 books, since some of the others are hanging out in bedrooms and hallways and such, literally everywhere. I live with my partner of almost 2 decades, an academic and fellow reader, so the sheer volume of our collection, it's not entirely on me. We have 2 cats, Millie the calico and Rosa the grey tabby. The living room is as much theirs as ours. Nothing's really wrong with the before shots, but I think we can make it better. We're gonna exit summer and go into cozy months mode. Ironically, I already visited HomeSense in the middle of August for fall stuff. You gotta get on that suburban family seasonal calendar. Clearly Calgary from the distinctive skyline. There was some pretty stuff here, but honestly we're not about that $40 ceramic pumpkin life. So I just kinda got pumpkins from the dollar store. I did splurge on a couple of couch cushions and candles at HomeSense, and you'll see that in the big reveal.
Welcome to the Prairie Crop Night Gallery, which is pretty much the same as the day gallery. You've already seen clips of this room in the daytime a few days ago. Since then, I have removed all the books from the bookshelves. They're currently all over the floor, but you gotta make a mess to clean up. I actually did a little bit of cleaning off camera, just a bit of the grunt work, cleaning the baseboards and crevices, the little areas that will make being in this room feel extra shiny once it's all said and done, but you didn't really need to see that. So just for an update, the books are on the floor, the shelves have been dusted, and we're ready to do the fun part, which is to organize and decorate. So come along with me as I show you the piles of books on the floor and the different categories that I've sorted them into. This is the first shelf. It's a wooden kind of hutch, china cabinet type thing. We're gonna actually use this for the new Prairie section. If we come over here, we'll see the Canadian section. Oh, there's Millie. Canadian section on the floor. It includes all the provinces, but we're actually going to divide it up to Maritimes and biographies and a couple of other smaller sections, so it's not just like one big mass of Canada. The shelves over here was previously the section of world history and Canadian history and culture. You can see I did a little DIY. So far with the decorative papers, they actually look pretty good once the books are in. Right now it just looks like a little bit mismatched, but the intention is that there would usually be books there. So we're going to put all the literature, you can see this is literature, and contemporary, and hopefully, if we're lucky, science fiction, which is a little bit sprawling. Moving over to the back wall here, previously I had a few books on the tape deck there, but not really very many fit in the stereo or the liquor cabinet. But we do have this nice ladder shelf, which we previously had kind of rule books, game books, and comics. I think I'm going to stay with that category for this area. And this corner with the extra lamp and exercise ball is going to be the new biography section, so that's pretty exciting. And finally, beneath the TV, we're going to have world history. It's going to shrink a little bit because I'm going to take the biographies out. Oh, Millie again. And there's records underneath in the black boxes. That might be like a different video at some point, like organizing the physical music. But for now, we'll just stick to the books. This corner is what I managed to achieve since we last spoke last night. This is classics. I've put children's classics and kids' books up here, and then we start from the Greek plays up until kind of the 70s and 80s, where it transitions more into contemporary fiction. I've been working on collecting both literature and contemporary of a non-fantastical nature. We'll get right into the sci-fi fantasy, which is already started right here. This first shelf is YA. We're still organizing the rest. Most of them are still on the floor in the earlier shots that I showed you, but this is a start. 2 copies of Foundation. One is the new copy you can see from the Apple TV sticker. This is a reprint, but an older one. Although, even though there's the 3 first books in the Foundation series, but the spines are pretty wrecked, so they'll probably go back to the little free library that they originally came from. The only other book I found with 2 copies or 2 editions that I still have is Grant Notley, The Social Conscience of Aparta. There's the new edition has a foreword by Rachel Notley, so also a tale of dynasties and galactic disappointments. Little Alberta specific joke to anybody who cares. It's appropriately in the Alberta section, but it'd be a fun contest to see if you all enter, and I'll send you either my spare copy of Grant Notley or Foundation. You won't know till you enter. The fiction wall's done, and we're going to move on to the Prairie section. Like I was saying, I separated it out from the rest of Canada, much like the prairies would want. I don't know, super dated Wexit joke. Fiction corner, looking great. Pretty much, oh, there's, hello. The Prairie section, which includes, of course, Manitoba. Is Manitoba? Yeah, okay. Western Canada section. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, of course, and British Columbia, just because they all seem to fit pretty nicely. Not quite filled in yet, but we've got nature books at the top, general nature and memoir, science, just to explain Alberta's nature, I guess. That seemed to be where they best fit. And then more specific writings about Western Canada and kind of more political books. They're all kind of just mixed in there based on size, shape, color. Truly the fun part of the book sort is coming across a book that you have absolutely no idea what it is. It doesn't say. I mean, I'm not sure. Let's discover this book together. Library discard from Sydney, Nova Scotia. Promising sign. Actually, it looks like it's been discarded from at least 3 libraries, so how it ended up on my shelf, we'll see. Bunch of blank pages. Masters of their own destiny. That could be pretty much anything. Here's a fuller page. There's a map of the Maritimes. Yes. Classic. Masters of Their Own Destiny, the story of the Antigonish movement of adult education through economic cooperation. Well, that's a mouthful. I see why they had that as a subtitle. Makes sense it's on top of the other book about Antigonish. So if you want very specific knowledge about Antigonish, you know where to come. My house. The French Revolution. Did it happen? Do we know? We don't. Everyone goes on and on about their penguins, but what about the pelicans? I feel like the pelicans are kind of forgotten. We're in the reading chair corner by the deck doors. This is the biography section, or it was intending to be. I actually have way fewer biographies than I thought. Half of them are Albertans, the aforementioned Grant Notley, William Irvine, John Brownlee, and Kenneyism by my good friend Jeremy Appel. He is my good friend. So shouts to him. I will link his book in the description. We've also got some Victorians, and I don't know, I think I really need to pad out this section a little bit. Also bothers me that I only have volume 2 of Eleanor Marx. Where's volume 1? I actually tried to buy volume 1, just volume 1 in Vancouver once, but they wouldn't let me have it without volume 2, but I already have volume 2. These are book problems that you might identify with.
Cat break. Here's Rosa again. I clearly poked her. And Millie getting a scratch.
I suppose I would have more biographies if I included every memoir or book about a group of people or a region, but honestly, I don't want to sort that through right now, and that might be like half the books I have. So I think we'll just focus on having a biography section with kind of some people that I want to read about or revisit. Behind me are comics and graphic novels, as promised. They didn't really move, they just got added to and combined with graphic art and art history. I'll probably put books that are oversized on the bottom, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but honestly, I think there's about an hour of book sorting remaining. So we're going to speed through that, I hope, and then get on to the cleaning and decorating. Oh my goodness, you guys, we finished all the books, so we finished putting them all back on the shelves. Amazingly, most of them fit. Few will have to be a little bit more creative with finding storage solutions around the apartment, but never a dull moment, and only a few moments rest between finishing that and now cleaning the carpets. This is one of the carpets. Usually you'll see that it's underneath the sofa, usually matching the brown sofa cover, which also has been washed to remove all the hair and dirt. And we're going to do the rug that usually sits under the dining table, and then move on to probably the chore I've definitely been putting off the most in the last 2 or 3 years, is ironing the curtains. They're thick, they're heavy, they are wrinkly, and I also got kind of a command hook brace to hopefully have the curtain rod not sag so much. Do you have any chores you've put off for a really long time, and then when you get around to them, they're pretty much exactly as horrible as you thought? Well, that's me in these curtains, but I did iron them, and hopefully they're a little bit less wrinkly. They're certainly not wrinkle-free, but we'll see when we hang them up. Not bad in terms of wrinkles, but the main victory here is this command hook. Look at that. No drills involved, just keeping up the curtain in a non-saggy way.
More cleaning happened, but I was increasingly frazzled after the curtains, so we're just cutting to the next morning instead. I'll leave you with music and vibes to soak in for a minute. It's the after, or the finished results. Gonna put this down as a successful makeover, and I look forward to many hours of reading and sitting in this room. Now I'm gonna treat myself to a deserved cup of tea and maple cookies.
If you'd like to see more room redecorations or DIY projects or even book reviews, let me know and we'll make it happen. Bye, folks.